Hi, my name is Aaliyah, and I'm starting my YouTube channel. I think it's mostly going to be a booktube channel, but I'm also just going to put up whatever other types of videos I want to. So, I'm going to do the new to booktube / newbie tag. I'm kind of just putting the both together and answering some questions just to give anyone that's interested an idea of what I think my channel will be like and why I decided to make a channel. The first question is, where am I joining from? Right now I live on the West Coast, but most of my life I lived on the East Coast. Why did I start this channel? I've been wanting to do a YouTube channel for a few years. Ever since I found Booktube, I've thought about it, but I've definitely had a few things kind of holding me back, and I just kind of felt now like I was ready to. So I'm trying it out, seeing how it goes. And, I figure if it doesn't go well, I can, I try, see how it goes, and, yeah, I'll do that. What are some fun and unique things I can bring to Booktube? I mean, I read basically all genres, I would say, so I definitely don't have just like a genre, although I would say I primarily right now read horror and thrillers and a lot of middle grade and a lot of comics. I can definitely talk a lot about Marvel and DC comics, older ones, and then I read a lot of indie comics right now. So if people are interested, I could definitely make a whole lot of comic related videos. And one of the big things I'm interested in doing with the channel is talking about queer books and books with disability representation, because those are two things that are really important to me, and I think they're important to bring to Booktube. What am I most excited for with the channel? I would say I'm just excited to see what happens, if I can start finding people to talk to that are interested in things that I'm interested in, and just kind of see where it goes. I have ideas of videos I would like to put out, but I would say I don't really have expectations. So yeah, I'm just kind of interested to see what happens. What types of books do I read? I basically already said that. I would say mostly horror, thrillers, middle grade, although I also do read YA and adult. I really do read everything, because I read romances also, and I read sci-fi, so really just anything. Who are some of my favorite authors? So I wrote a few down. Neil Gaiman is one that I've read a good chunk of his books. Libba Bray, since I was in high school or maybe late middle school, I started reading her books, and I've read pretty much everything she's written. Junji Ito is my favorite, like, horror manga artist writer. I really like him. Holly Black. There's a lot of her stuff I haven't read, but I've also read several of her books and really liked them. Shannon McGuire. Also, her Mira Grant stuff I've also really liked. So, a lot of her stuff. Riley Sagar. I've read almost every book he's written, and I would say I have liked all of them and really liked some of them. Talia Hibbert is probably my favorite romance writer because she has written a character with chronic illness, which was just really nice to read. And because she herself has chronic illness, and so it was just really relatable. And Claire Kahn, I've only read 2 of her books, but I really liked both of them. And it's just nice to find asexual representation because there's very little of it. And then Roshni Chokshi, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I hope I did that right. I think I've only read Arusha, and I haven't read any of her other stuff. But I really like that series, and so I'm still gonna put her as the favorite. Okay. So last book I read. My reading is really chaotic, so I don't read like 1 or 2 books at a time. I'm usually in the middle of like 10 books, and I just bounce between them. And then some books, it'll take me months to finish. Yeah, I don't read in a neat way, so I'm also usually finishing a bunch of books at the same time. So I don't know actually what the last book I finished was, because I probably finished a whole bunch of books at the same time. Like, I would actually have to look at my Goodreads. I know that I'm almost done with the audiobook for The Last House on Needless Street. I'm almost done with that. And I've really liked that so far. Like, that'll probably be like 4.5 or something. When did I start reading? I mean, I know at a young age, like, I've been reading books as long as I can remember, so probably in elementary school. Book or series that got me into reading. I mean, I have some favorite ones from when I was young, but I was still like already reading at that point. I still remember really liking Anne of Green Gables. Like, that's one of my favorites. I read every single one of the books. And I would say that I probably got into reading from my dad reading Lord of the Rings to me and my brother when we were really young. And he read all the books, and he did like voices, and yeah, that probably helped get me into reading, I would think, because I really enjoyed that. And then he started another series too, completely unrelated to Lord of the Rings. What questions would I ask my favorite booktubers? I think just one of my biggest worries is, if I were to get, bigger, have a larger audience, how do you deal with privacy? Because, people want to know more information about you. They want to follow your social media and all of that. And I'm not crazy about that. Like, I don't want to, like, how do you balance giving some information about your life and bonding with people in your audience, and you want to talk to them and everything, but still having privacy. I mean, that's probably something I would ask. What challenges will I face with my channel, and what will be the hardest to overcome? Honestly, I think the biggest challenge for me would be if I were to like suddenly blow up or something. That's actually kind of a worry for me. I know sometimes some people's channels, like, a video just goes viral and they just all of a sudden have like 10,000 followers or something, and I think that would actually be kind of anxiety inducing for me. I don't necessarily want to become like huge or anything. I just kind of want to do it and meet people and talk to people and have fun. And just see where it goes. And like, I think I'd be much more comfortable with like a steady increase than just like bam. So, I mean, I think that would probably be the hardest thing for me. I don't see that it's likely because there's so many booktube channels, but I mean, I know it does happen. So yeah. So yeah, that's the questions. I do want to put out a video soon that is recommendations for Queer Lit Readathon, which starts on June 5th, and you can look for the information on Twitter and Instagram. They're just under Queer Lit Readathon, and there's like a bingo board with different challenges and categories to follow. And I've been doing that readathon for a few years, just not in any official capacity, just following along. and I really enjoy it. So I'm gonna do that, and then if I figure out what my TBR is, I'll post a TBR video. But again, I tend to be kind of messy with that kind of stuff, and I might not even know what my TBR is. I might just read stuff and then try and fit it in at the end. So, you can find my Goodreads at Aaliyah L. And that's what my social medias are too. But you just have to be okay again with chaotic reading. Like, I'm not gonna have like, I've started this book and now I've finished this book. It's gonna, like, right now I'm in the middle of probably like 11 or more books, and some of them have been on my reading, like currently reading, for months, and it's like I'll finish it at some point. So it's a bit messy, but that's just how I read. So I don't know, maybe it's relatable to some people that I don't necessarily read like a ton of books at a time. Like, I'm not gonna be reading like 30 books in a month, and I'm also not going to be like neat and orderly. So maybe that'll be nice for some people if they're like that too. I don't know. Yeah. So hopefully I'll have another video soon if anybody watches this one. And bye.